Check it out. Wow. Who's this, Jacob? What's going on
Get a
here?
picture of that.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
There
Look,
we
You're all
are.
bobcats.
Texas State
Smoking
Bobcats. I got to tell you, I worked one day in the feature film called The Ringer at the Bobcat Stadium. Did you do that too, Gary? At the Bobcat Stadium?
I worked in it too.
Did you? Not at Bobcat Stadium.
No, I was in Austin when I worked in it.
Yeah, cool. I haven't seen the movie yet, but well, I worked in it. Folks, we're live today. Got a lot of topics. Mike, do we have John Bush coming up here later? Okay, they're working on it. Okay. First off, let me introduce my grandson, who some people say I'm pimping. Would you agree with that, Lorraine and Gary? Am I pimping?
No.
Taking him to casting calls and stuff like that.
Being a good grandfather.
That's what I say. I mean, 2-3 years, he'll be old enough to decide whether he wants to pursue it or not.
Yeah.
So
He likes being on camera.
I think he does.
No, I say you're pimping.
But he is cute as a bud.
Uh-huh.
And he's getting smarter. He's got a lot of words to say. What's that there cow say, Jacob Davis? What's that there cow say? What's that there cow say? Who's this? Who's this? Who's that? Who's that?
Mommy,
Yeah, Mommy.
Yeah.
That's right. Who's this?
Papa,
Baba. That's what he calls me, Baba. Who's that?
Dada,
Jacob. That's right.
What's on the table, Jacob?
Hey, who's this?
Dano,
That Dino. Yeah.
Say hello, everybody.
Say hello. Say hello. We're doing live television webcasting. Say hello. What's this?
hat,
Hat. That's right. Good. That's hat.
Who's on your shirt?
Who's this?
Dano,
That's not Dino.
That's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Dano, man.
That's right. That's right. See, he's coming along pretty good.
He says more words every week.
Yeah, he does. He's coming along pretty well. You think he realizes at all what he's doing, or
Yeah, I think
he's on live TV?
He usually talks more after the show.
Jacob, what do you like to drink?
Apple juice,
That's right. He likes that. That's a good one. That's a good one. Apple juice. Who's this?
Papa,
Baba. Who's that?
Dada,
Who's this? Can Jacob Davis say Lorraine? And then over there's Gary. Can Jacob Davis say Gary? Say Gary. Here's Gary over here too. Two Garys. Can Jacob Davis say Gary? See, you're up there. You're on live TV. See ya? Yeah, say hi to everybody. Say hello.
Go like this, Jacob.
Do like Grandpa. And look.
He's like, no.
Yeah, he got a boo-boo on his head from playing outside the other day. Little fella. I love the little fella, though. He's a cute little first grandson, so he's going to be special, obviously. But yeah, I casting calls, things like that. I'll be taking him. There's a pretty good sized market for 2-year-olds
Give me your face.
doing different things.
Give me your
So
face. No, not that. Give me a smile.
what happens when you get sleepy?
apple juice,
No, not apple juice.
neck,
No, not a snack either.
neck, neck,
What do you do when you get sleepy?
What do you do when you get sleepy?
Can you do that?
And Jacob Davis say, Daddy. Daddy.
daddy,
Daddy. That's right. Grandpa.
Papa,
Okay, good. He's coming around. Well, it's the Jacob Davis show down here. What do you think? I could co-host.
I'm
Right.
The Jacob Davis show. I'll be the co-host.
Excuse me.
Couple more years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Bring all his favorite toys down here.
Okay, now let's switch. Now we are live, folks. Here it is 7 March, year of our Lord 2011, Monday. And we've got a full team here to discuss issues. We're going to get into some serious issues. And some good issues. First off, let's turn over to to actor Gary Teague, and who you, by the way, you can Google Gary Teague and check out his impressive acting resume. Have you seen his acting resume, Lorraine?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, you know, just in the last 3 or 4 months, he's been on. I personally have seen him on 2 national TV shows. NBC's Friday Night Lights, a real solid appearance, the TV series, and Rachel Maddow did a show on MSNBC when Gary was the grandfather of Timothy McVeigh.
That was a lot of fun.
It was cool seeing him up there. You know, like I've been saying, we're all getting famous here. I believe that, Gary. I mean, we're all in these films now and all this stuff. So anyway, so let's get to the. So you want the Texas film. You want the Texas legislature to pass an incentive program to bring films here to Central Texas.
Oh, definitely, Jeff, because it'll help Texas. Of course, it'll help Austin, but Texas as a whole, because of the talent that we have in Texas, both crew and cast. And we have the terrain, the weather is perfect, and any film being made can be done here in Texas.
Now, for people who question Gary's argument there about using the government to incentivize these films, it is reported that the money that's subsidized is gained back by the state of Texas due to the economic energy created by the project. Is that the way you understand it?
Yeah, I think so, Jeff.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah. You know, anytime you bring business to any city or state, that's got to be positive for the people of Texas.
Yes. How do you feel about that? You're against it, right? A hardcore libertarian. You're against the.
Because, I don't want to get into an argument here.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying. I mean, the argument is, and Sasan Sadat made the argument here on this program many times, that it turns the power of the film industry over to the state.
That's part of the problem.
And it has done that.
Yeah. Well, also, it tends to attract the failed businesses that couldn't survive without the incentives, the lousy projects. And so that's another problem with it.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. How do you feel about it, Lorraine? How do you feel about the Texas? They're debating that right now in the Texas legislature.
Well, when I was younger and an actress, I surely loved all those films coming to Texas. I enjoyed being in them, and I did make some money from it. And I don't think they would have chosen Texas if they didn't. I mean, if not the incentives, but the fact that they could film in Austin for free. I think that was one of the big reasons why they came to Austin.
Yeah. I see both sides, but as an
What
actor.
kind of incentives do they give? Like money? Or
Yeah, it's like
breaks
tax incentives and or money, and then like I say, they claim that the money is then recouped by the economic activity created by the project. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I know that Alex Jones is really mad at Robert Rodriguez because Robert Rodriguez got the incentives, but he doesn't get the incentives. And he said Machete
this is all comes down to where you're
a political
giving,
film.
giving control of the government to the government. But in the short term, though, it does bring films here. It does create, work opportunities for people like myself and Gary and Lorraine who happen to work in the entertainment industry. So
not only that, but it creates steady work opportunities.
Well, I understand your libertarian.
Well, I think
take
that they would still come here anyway.
Reserve creates
They're-
money, start off with
Yeah.
Mommy.
Well, I think the reason they're coming here
Mommy.
is because they're leaving California. They're leaving-
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
you know,
some
the-
of it.
I mean, California's got all these taxes and all these regulations, and I think it's kind of that's what's really happening is that we don't have the problems that they have in California, and they come here instead.
Well, when I was a lot younger, they had a lot of filming in Chicago, and that's where I grew up. So
Yes.
I did a lot of TV shows and films over there, and then they left. But I happened to move to Texas around the same time, when I was in my early 20s, and that's when the film boom started in Texas. And I did that for about a year, and then I went back.
It's the second biggest market in the country now.
Oh yeah,
It just
it's pretty
overtook a
big.
couple of years ago. It overtook New York City for number 2.
Well, I know the actors really like the work, and I know that the film majors really like the work, and especially the UT film majors. A lot of the PAs that meet on the sets here are from UT, and they're really excited to have that job. I mean, and film majors, any job in film, they're really excited to have, because usually they don't get jobs, so they're really excited about those opportunities. I don't know how much money incentives are given, and
Right. The legislature is wanting to get 10 million for the year, and Rick Perry's pushing for 20 million.
do they really make back all that money?
Well, that's what we're told. You know, so I mean, we're told a lot of things. I guess it might not be true, but that's the theory behind it.
Well, I mean, personally, I really enjoyed being in the films. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I say bring them on here. Bring them to Texas. Folks got a lot of talent here. All kinds of talent and talented people. And okay, now I want to get to. I've been thinking about this all week, and first off, I don't like to use the word proud, but I'm proud to say that I have been basically for peace all my life.
That's a great thing to be proud of.
Liberty and peace. I'm
He's gonna call it whenever you see him.
okay.
Somebody already called in, but they hung up.
Okay, well, let me get through this, Mike, because this is what's been going on in the news. Okay, so I am against I am perfectly fine with the U.S. military being the most powerful military force on the planet on the history of the planet. I don't have a problem with that myself, but I have for many years disagreed with what the military was being used for. I was against the U.S. military involvement in Korea, Vietnam, first Iraq War, Afghanistan, second Iraq War. Okay, now the reason why I bring that up on this particular show is that we're faced with it again. The Obama administration has now announced that they are contemplating using military options against in Libya. And I want to first off state that I am totally against that type of intervention, and it's just another thing that I oppose these others, and I'm going to oppose this too. So you know the situation. What's your take on? Do you want to send? They're already talking about these no-fly zones and getting American troops bogged down in the Middle East some more is what it sounds like to me. How do you stand on that, Gary?
Well, I'm agree with you, Jeff. I'm against it. I know they've already got CIA operations going on over there. That's what helped to get that started. But it's natural next step is to bring the military in, and I don't want to see that.
Here's a guy that America's supposedly gave him billions of dollars to stay in power, and now the people that are supposedly revolting against him, they want to switch over to this revolt. Just kill more people, just like Iraq did.
Yeah, that's all. We'll be in there blowing things up and then rebuilding, and just like you say, killing people.
That's right.
That'll be the end result.
How do you feel, Lorraine? Tell us about that.
Do
briefly.
we
do
really
have John Bush
have the money to be going into other countries, intervening? I mean, I read about all the budget cuts that the Republicans are planning, and this is just really hypocritical. We're cutting a daycare. We're cutting funds for the elderly. We're cutting PBS. It
They
said
keep
we're
that war
cutting
machine
PBS
going now.
and no more Sesame Street, no more Oscar the Grouch. But we're going into Libya. I mean,
Well,
it
that's
doesn't
what
make
they're
any sense to me.
that's what they're saying, and
I think a war's a lot more money than sending a kid to daycare. You know.
Well, Gary Johnson. Then we got John Bush. We're going to bring up here in just a minute. Gary Johnson, your take on the Obama administration announcing that they were considering military options for Libya.
I thought Obama was going to get us out of Iraq. I thought Obama was going to get us out of Afghanistan. I thought that's why he was elected.
Yeah.
So the idea that we have no right to go into Libya, period, and we have no right to impose a no-fly zone there. And as you just got through mentioning, Jeff, the United States not too long ago got through saying that Muammar Gaddafi was actually kind of a good guy, that he had reformed, and now suddenly he's a bad guy. And one more thing, and that is, who are the people who are going to replace him? I mean, let's say Gaddafi is a bad guy. Who are these alternatives? They could be even worse. You know, the Shah of Iran was a bad guy, but look what we got in Iran with the Ayatollah Khomeini. So who knows who these people are? There's no reason for us to take sides in that. We should just stay out of it. Let the Libyan people decide for themselves, and because anything we do is going to come back on us anyway.
Yeah, well said, Gary. That's why I like that good libertarian viewpoint on things like that. Okay, I believe this is Mr. John Bush. Hello, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Is this John Bush?
This is.
Hey, John. How you been doing?
I've been doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing great. Sitting here with Gary Johnson, Lorraine Denardis, Gary T. in the studio.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Fine.
I wanted to mention, John. First off, Mike Hansen wanted you to give an update on what happened with the Guns for Cash program.
Yeah, well, we did a counter to the Guns for Groceries that Austin Police Department and the Greater Austin Crime Commission threw together, where they encourage people to come trade in their firearms for grocery cards, and they in turn destroy the perfectly working firearms. Many of them aren't operable, actually. So we went in there with Texans for Accountable Government and some other Austin activists and decided to do a counter program where we offered up cash, $110 instead of a $100 gift card, and then $220 for sporting rifles instead of a $200 gift card. So we actually offered more. We outbid them. We managed to purchase 24 functioning firearms. And now, rather than destroy them like Austin Police Department's going to do, we want to put these firearms in the hands of peaceful, law-abiding citizens who may not be able to afford firearms to protect their family and their community, because firearms in the hands of peaceful, law-abiding citizens is the best way to keep a community safe.
Yeah, well said. You all have any things you'd like to add? By the way,
This
John,
local Austin activist.
I actually saw you on Fox News discussing this. In fact, you were at the demonstration at that time.
Yeah, Fox 7, myfoxaustin.com, they actually gave us pretty favorable coverage. They got this little anti-government string to them. I think they're trying to play up on, the whole anti-government Tea Party rhetoric, but they're really giving Texans for Accountable Government some good coverage, and they're using our talking points. So they definitely covered it pretty well and got the talking points out there.
John, where's the money for Guns for Groceries come from?
It came from private individual donors that are supporters of TAG. We didn't actually use TAG resources for that.
No, I meant the original program.
Yes. The original program was $30,000 was donated by the Greater Austin Crime Commission, which is a nonprofit, and that money was seeded by this foundation, some family foundation, and we tried to do research on it and couldn't really uncover too much, but they're probably anti-gun rights, I would imagine.
Bunch of gun grabbers, yeah.
What else do you? What's hot on for tag right now? Texans for Accountable Government. What's the hot issues right now you all are working on?
Well, there's a fluoride hearing that's coming up with the Austin Public Health and Human Services Committee. I think it's going to be on the 22nd, I believe. People can go to fluoridefreeaustin.com, fluoridefreeaustin.com to learn more about that. Additionally, at the State House, Representative David Simpson just introduced 3 pieces of legislation that would push back on the body scanners being used at airports. We're also trying to encourage the Austin City Council to take a stand against a body scanner coming to the Austin Bergstrom International Airport here at the local level. And then again, at the State House, we're actually having a bill introduced that would limit fusion centers, the law enforcement and information gathering systems, from collecting information of a non-criminal nature on political activists, also from collecting private health information, and then finally from collecting surveillance and biometric information as well. So that's hopefully going to be pretty big. Hopefully we can get that passed.
There are, John, a couple of lightened penalties for pot possession in the Texas House.
There's one to decrease possession over an ounce or under an ounce, something like that. And there's another one for medical marijuana, actually.
Elliot Neistat introduced that.
That's right. So we're going to need a lot of people to get up there and try to encourage them. I think we'll probably be able to take a couple baby steps forward on the marijuana front here in Texas, but we still got a lot of conservatives to convince, that we need to end the drug war.
That's good. Yeah. We have fluoride-free Austin up on the screen right now.
Great.
Did y'all have anything?
Well, John, what's going to happen with fluoride?
Well, about 6 months ago, the Environmental Board, they recommended to have the council do an independent investigation. Mm-hmm. They failed to act after that. Since then, for the past 2 years, actually, the Fluoride Free Austin activists, several people have been educating the council. We even brought in Paul Connett, the nation's leading expert, a PhD toxicologist. It's been falling upon deaf ears, but thankfully enough pressure was put on the council that Randy Shade, who's also up for re-election, she's the chair of the Public Health and Human Services Committee, so it's going to be brought before her on the health issues as opposed to the environmental issues. And hopefully we can just further educate them and encourage them to remove the water. If they're not willing to do it on their own, we might have to do an initiative and referendum, but the ultimate goal, the short-term goal, is to have an independent investigation, open up the whole questions, and get an objective examination of the efficacy and the negative health effects. And then, of course, the ultimate goal is to remove fluoride from Austin's water. We would be the largest city in the United States to reverse fluoridation, so it definitely send ripples through the water tanks, so to speak.
Well, it's also a ridiculous waste of money.
Yeah, it costs like $388,000 roughly every single year to poison Austin's water with fluorosilicic acid, a chemical byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry.
And I think most water is used for watering lawns around here, isn't it?
A lot of it, yeah.
I got a question. How would I get fluoride removed from San Marcos water? Because that's where I live. In San Marcos, Texas?
You could hit up a lot of the local activists there that are interested, create a coalition, start going to city council meetings, start doing research about how much it costs, start sending studies to their health and human services committees and heads and stuff like that. Just start putting public pressure on them, trying to convince them that it's a bad thing, and then convince the public that they're doing a poor job of keeping an eye out for the will of the people, for the good of the people, by pumping poison in the water.
Yeah, it's a real shame. We live right by an underground spring, and the water in the spring is actually better than the water that we get in our pipes.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh. Well, John, any final comment? Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, just people can check out tagtexas.org, Texans for Accountable Government's website. We've been really getting pretty strong out there. Also, people can check out a radio show that I do every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on 98.9 FM. The website's livefreeaustinradio.com, livefreeaustinradio.com, all the podcasts. And it's a pretty exciting show. Last week we interviewed Thomas DiLorenzo, And then the week before that, we interviewed Stuart Rhodes of Oath Keepers. So there's podcasts and stuff up of that. And you guys keep it up. Keep up the good work. Always enjoy watching the show. And thanks for having me on.
Okay, John. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
it easy.
Okay, folks. I want to say I want to bring Gary Johnson in because you all may know that about a week and a half or so ago there was an important meeting down here at Channel Austin about the future.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And Gary was here, so I want to just get his take on what happened with that Channel Austin meeting.
Well, it was full. It was in the main studio next door, and it was full crowd, and it was mostly Linda Latowski, who is the executive director, giving us a report on what's going on. As you know, the contract with the city, and actually it's the Time Warner's and Grande's. Let me step back. Let me set this up. The reason why we have public access channels is because they have franchises with these cable companies. It changes from a city franchise to a state franchise. I think this Grande franchise has already changed to a state franchise, but the big one, the Time Warner franchise, changes to a state franchise from a city franchise, and that means a different set of rules and a different funding formula. And what it means is, I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can, the money that goes to pay for this place would actually be appropriated by the city council. It would be a vote every year as part of the budget, as opposed to an automatic thing that's in the franchise that might last for 15 years. So it becomes political. And Linda Latowski was saying that according to the city staff, and I hope I'm characterizing this correctly, it looks like for the next couple of years there will be some money here for this place. Beyond that, they're not quite sure. It has to be, the state collects money from the cable company and then gives the money to the city, but the city council can decide what to do with that money. And it doesn't all go to public access. It also goes to Channel 6, the city municipal access channel, and to other, I guess, other communications things. So it becomes a political issue. And the money is for equipment and not necessarily for staff. So this place is paid for in part by your tax and your cable bill every month, but also by fees that we pay as our membership and so forth. There's several revenue streams, but the main one is from the cable customers, and so it's kind of up in the air. So that was one of the things that was happening. The other thing that's happening is who's going to run this place. Currently, Channel Austin, formerly Public Access Community Television, runs this place, but their contract runs out in, I think it's August, September, October, no later than October 1st. And so the city council has to renew their contract, or actually there's a request for proposals. I don't know how many people are proposing it. There may be only one proposal. There may be several proposals. Actually, the deadline was last week. So theoretically, it's competitive bidding. So I'm not really keeping up with that. But there may be two or more people or corporations competing on who will actually be the management here. So the city council has to pick the management on the basis of who sent in the best proposal. Channel Austin, of course, is sending in a proposal. The whole thing was then opened up to discussion from the audience, and a lot of people in the audience were talking about other ways of raising money, like a telethon and that sort of thing. So it was a lot. Most of the discussion was, how do we pay for this place, because the guaranteed, shall we say, revenue stream is not going to be guaranteed anymore.
Yeah. I want to just say that this place means so much to me. I mean, as an actor, I wouldn't even be an actor without this place. 10 years of commercial radio wouldn't have happened without this place. And I just hope that there's enough people out there supporting these facilities so that other people, future generations, have the same type of opportunities we're having.
I've been here for 4 years myself.
It's
Long
fantastic.
time.
How can anybody not like it when anybody can come down here and do a show? You can do, if you don't like what's being done here, come down here and do your own show. But the point is that it does need to be. Let's try a quick call here, real quick. Welcome. You're on Worldwide.
Jeff Davis for president.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, this Morris, I saw Mr. Gary Teague down at the Capitol the other day. When you were talking about what he was down there doing, and I told him how much I appreciated the Jeff Davis show.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Where was you? Where did he see him at the Capitol?
Yeah, I saw him down there. You remember that, Gary?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. I told him, I said, hey, I told him, I said, I don't know if anybody has ever told you this before, but you sure look a lot like Gary Teague. Remember, I told you that.
See, you
one
got
time.
Oh, yeah, I
recognized
wonder-
from the show.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, if you checked out his impressive acting resume, it's really quite impressive.
Oh yeah,
I say that
with
it's pretty impressive.
yeah, about that Channel Austin.
Yes.
Some people are for him, some people are against him. But I know Gary Johnson was down there years ago. I can't even remember how many years ago it was. Jackie Goodwin. We had that place packed down there, and a bunch of people were down there, and a lot of people said, "Oh, this is it's all over. The sky's falling. It's history." And of course, Stephen Ray, he had an issue down there with a gentleman that was taking some funds, and that was straightened out. But the thing I was telling Gary down at the Capitol, I said, we may not always agree on all the things that we talk about, but one thing about it is, don't be a couch potato.
Yeah.
And get out there and do what you do. And the thing about public access television is it's giving people even an opportunity that really maybe can't do it. They call in on a show just like I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's just that.
Can you imagine Austin, Texas without this place?
No, and I think it's going to be around for a long time to come.
I hope so.
And I think that they've gotten a lot of input from the city's website and Stephen Ray and different people, and the Katowski, like Mr. Johnson there was saying. So I think we're going to keep this place going. I know I'll be down there, I believe, Wednesday night on Frontline Texas with Steve Mason but the thing of it is I just really appreciate people being active, and I can't think of a greater place to be active than down at Channel Austin, down there at the studios.
I agree, 100%. I agree with you 100%.
But I appreciate y'all, and I just thought I'd give a shout out to Gary there, and I was glad to see him down there. And I've been down there many times myself, and it's just it really does. I've been on this thing, Jeff, and I'll leave you with this, but I'm just on this thing about being an individual. I'm just not into this group think, Republican, Democrat.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Libertarian, Tea Party.
Just be
warrior,
yourself.
I don't care what it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just so much into this being individual, because most of the time, I find myself in a room, I'm the only one that thinks the way I think,
Yeah.
And the way the world is becoming, if you're not finding yourself in that situation, you might want to look in a mirror.
Yeah.
Because, but, just this due process, that's up to us. It's not defined in the Constitution. Our due process are found in the rules of law, like Gary and those folks on the radio talk about. And so, it's an individual thing,
All righty, sir.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's try this one. Welcome. You're on Worldwide.
Yeah, I've talked to you, Jeff, before a lot of times, but I've talked to Gary. Can you go back and get the dude that was on your program many months ago on that Intimate Domain program when he came from El Paso? I called him, wrote him the letter. He wrote the snottiest letter you ever want to see, because he just did a complete about-face than what he was on your show. I don't help people in a sense. Sure enough, doing this LCRA crap that's coming on this Huddle power line going up that way, I get a letter from it with their headline on it from another attorney's name. They're representing the LCRA instead of defending the homeowners. Now, this, I could say some ugly words and I got to watch them. Just knows I slipped one out on his program. But I've been through eminent domain 5 blankety blank times in my life. 5. And I've had 30 crooked attorneys that represented me every time, come out on the short end. Hey, this is what this costs, that's what this costs. The next thing you know, you don't get anything out of it. And I wish you could find that and go back, and if you put your show back on the air, either one of them, Jeff could get him on here too, bring him as their guest.
Okay.
I'd love to have and be damn sure I get through on the line because I want to wring his neck. And I called Kurt Watson's office the other day. They made a comment. We voted eminent domain down as taxpayer. He said, his little aide called me back, and I told him, he said, oh, well, it can't be completely done away with. He said, we do have to have a right to buy property. I said, yeah, but you don't have a right to steal the bank. I was ugly to him.
Gary,
right?
you're nodding your head correct.
Right. Now, I want to understand, what guest were you talking about?
The one that appeared that said that was talking about all the way down the Rio Grande and talked about the river in San Antonio where he had represented a lot of people. It's been, Gary, it's been a long time. I called you. You wrote me a letter.
You're talking about my show.
On your show.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. I'm getting a message to call the comment line at 292-0070.
All right.
Right there it is, 292-0070. We might be able to help you.
Was he with the Institute for Justice?
Yeah, when he was there on that thing, you remember it was then. And he didn't do doodly squat because he appeared on your show.
Yeah.
And I got hold of him, and it was just a lot of people got hold of him. I understand that and listened to you that night here in Austin and all along that river, the frontage on the Huddle power line. Nobody came out on top or nothing with him, and I don't know. It's just disgusting.
Sir, call the comment line. Did you see it?
Yeah, but I don't have nothing to write it down. When you're 85 years old, you don't remember numbers.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, do we have the real spin about 10 minutes? Okay, folks. Is that a yes? Okay.
Hold on.
What we're going to play next. Now, Alex Jones, I got to say, he's a superstar. He was on The View last week.
Yes.
My daughter...
he talked continuously.
My daughter saw him in a Rolling Stone magazine. But the thing is, Gary, we're all superstars. It's just that some of us just don't have the money yet that a superstar would want. Would you agree, Gary?
Yeah, the general public just doesn't know it yet.
That's right. That's right. And so I'm real happy about that. Now, what we're gonna play is about 10 minutes of one of Alex's first radio shows on the old KJFK FM. Remember?
Yes.
Back in the 1990s, it was a big KJFK. Remember KJFK? Well, anyway, we're gonna play about 10 minutes. It's.
Did you want to play a couple minutes of Alex on The View? Just about 2 minutes while we're buffering the other one.
Okay. I'll play some of The View. Yeah. But this video that you're fixing to see was recorded by Mike Hansen.
What?
The real spin.
But the first one is when he was on The View and he got it. He got the Federal Reserve out. He got the what else did he get out, Gary? He
killed millions.
Yeah,
he did.
Bush killed millions. He got it out on live TV, and he got out the buildings and Building 7. He got out.
Good. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good to get on live TV.
Yeah.
And he
that's what we're
couldn't
doing
shut
right-
him up. Whoopi couldn't shut
That's
him
what
up.
we're doing right now.
Whoopi and Barbara.
Okay, so we're gonna play that. Frankly, I'm proud of Alex, but Alex isn't the only one. Alex isn't the only one. Like I say, that Angela Keaton has been a guest on this. She's doing great things with AnnaWar.com. Deborah Stevens, Randy Kelton have been guests down here. I mean, Mr. Gary Teague and his national TV appearances. Lorraine is acting, stand-up comedy down at the Capital Area Comedy Club and all kinds. Just a talent everywhere, Gary. This show attracts tremendous talent.
All right.
You're on the radio now, Gary.
What, am I going too far with it? What do you think, Gary? Talented? I mean,
Can't argue that, Jeff.
we're all just we're a tiptoe away from.
We're motivated.
That's right. And I mean, the list goes on. Michael Bernard's been a guest on this show. He became the, I'm still looking at Gary Teague. He might be the next one to end up on The View.
Well, I'm ready.
He might just be. Maybe you, Gary. Maybe
I'm not ready. The View, a good grade. That's like 5 against 1 or something.
Okay, folks. So what do we got, Mike? Is this The View or is this the? Okay, here's Alex with The View, and then after this we'll go into the Real Spin.
Defends his lifestyle of drug use and partying, but it all started with a radio show rant last Thursday that prompted CBS to cancel the rest of the season of his hit sitcom. And we just want to show you a little bit of the clip, and then you'll meet the man he was talking to. Take a look.
Chaim Levine, yeah, that's Chuck's real name, mistook this rock star for his own selfish exit strategy, bro. Check it, Alex. I embarrassed him in front of his children and the world by healing at a pace that his unevolved mind cannot process. Okay, last I checked, Chaim, I've spent, I think, close to the last decade, I don't know, effortlessly and magically converting your tin cans into pure gold.
Well, joining now is the radio show host and close friend of Charlie Sheen, the man he was talking to, Alex Jones. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. If I could just say one thing, I've known Charlie for about 6.5 years. He's never drunk alcohol, used drugs in front of me. He's been completely clean for almost a decade until about 7 months ago. Now he's come off the drugs and the alcohol, which is almost like, being off your meds. It has the same effect. So he's supercharged. He's angry. He's focused. And I know that when they interviewed him at his house, because I talked to him, they interviewed him for about 2 hours. And that's a little kind of joke that's out of context. He's tired of being judged and him being held up as the ultimate demon in this world. He didn't kill 1 million people in Iraq. He wasn't involved with the takedown of Building 7 here in New York. And he thinks there's bigger devils out there than himself. And Chuck Lorre's put out a whole bunch of these cue cards while having management tell him a month ago, if you speak out against 4 episodes being cut, we're going to fire you. Then he starts putting out all of these. Chuck Lorre. He starts putting out. He starts putting out vanity cards, not just on 2.5 Men, but on other shows, saying Charlie Sheen is dead inside and soulless. You didn't show the worst one there, and so Charlie's told, we're tying your hands. Now we're going to beat you up for whatever contract negotiations.
Let me ask you. So the question that I have is, so you're saying Chuck Lorre started this?
With the vanity card.
With the vanity
And up front had management, according to Charlie, and I've been there when he's on the phone with his management or his manager comes over.
You're talking too fast for me, baby. Slow down.
Well, I know we don't have a lot of time. I'm getting it on record.
Right.
They told him, before he said a word, they said, we're doing this, and if you criticize it, you're going to be fired. And he said, why are you telling me this? I'm going through a hard time right now. But he didn't understand it then. I think they're trying to make him quit or something, so they have to pay out his contract or the $100 million in syndication. I think there's some shenanigans going on here. And then they start putting these things out. Then they start putting these vanity cards out, trying to prod him and push him.
Tell people what vanity cards are. I don't think people know.
Okay, most shows have a logo at the end, like a little dog or the MGM lion. Chuck Lorre has these big write-ups at the end of his show. And imagine at the end of the show with Charlie Sheen and other CBS shows.
This is on air.
This is on air, saying this man is soulless. This man is dead inside.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, because from that clip that we saw, a lot of people would ascertain, okay, or assume that Charlie was on drugs again. You say he wasn't. Do you think
he's taking blood tests?
Do you think he's...
I've been at his house when they come in, take the blood, take the urine.
I take your word.
I was there 2 weeks ago.
I hear you. Do you think he's manic depressive? I mean, as a friend, do you say, okay, this is something else? You guys are missing the boat. It's not the drugs. He's actually suffering from manic depressive disorder.
Let's just remember, Charlie's been a star. Charlie's been a star for 30 years, and all people know about is these episodes where he explodes. The Charlie Sheen I know is a compassionate guy who's really smart.
episodes where he explodes.
You don't
I mean,
think
he
he's
was
one of
saying, you know, this is the best thing that happened to the people who were with me. They're never going to regret it.
did
They
the
had the best
magic.
pan. You know, this is on drugs, tearing up rooms in hotel. What about that explosion?
I know this. I don't use illegal drugs, but when I quit smoking, I've had a long battle with that. I feel horrible for a week, and about a week later, my wife says, please, just go back to smoking sometimes because I get so manic. And I think we have a similar physiology. A lot of people have that physiology.
He was not giving it up at that point. He was on the drugs and booze.
Oh, you're talking about the last few
Do you
months.
think there's something underlying here that people are missing as a friend?
I just think that he's somebody going through a hard time who got clean, and that's why I went out to California to help him. And I know that it's wrong
So you're saying
for them to
he's
be
clean
prodding
now.
him, yes, and demonizing him and trying to make him blow up. That's actually what I believe is going on here. They should all just shake hands, bury the hatchet, come together for the crew of 2.5 Men. I want and try to support Charlie, but also Chuck Lorre, everybody else, but understand what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're worried about it.
But Charlie's tired of being held up like the devil. We got the TSA putting their hand down people's pants. Infowars.com covers it all. We've got the banks bankrupting the
But
U.S.
wait. Let's stick with Charlie because that's way too much for
No,
me,
but
man.
Charlie is mad because he's held up as all the problems. He didn't steal $23.7 trillion like the
But
Federal
we're
Reserve.
just here to figure out.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
That's Alex Jones on The View about a week or two ago, I guess. On
We
ABC.
had him on Live and Let Live one time. I remember that.
Oh, he's been on more than once, but
Well,
yeah.
the one I just started since I was working on there. He's been on twice since when I started working on it. I just wasn't there the second time. Well, yeah, it was really exciting to meet him, and he took us all out to eat, and
Yes.
yeah, it was a lot. It was really fun. So I'm really excited to see that he's doing so well, and I thought he would. I mean, when beginning this year, I thought this would be his year. So
Yes.
Well,
he's on the edge of this whole Charlie Sheen thing. It's amazing to me the orchestrated, I would say, attacks on Sheen. You know, it's a little bit too much piling on. It seems to me with all of that.
So did all these problems just start, or they just started becoming in the spotlight?
Well, I think that, as Alex was saying there, it has to do with a feud between him and his producer. But Charlie Sheen also has issues with his wife or his ex-wife and his children. And so it's kind of a family issue as well.
I saw his interview on 2020, and he said he's proud of his addictions on the interview, and it made him look really, really bad. But then I saw the links on the side, and I clicked on those links, and I didn't know he was so involved with the Truth Movement.
Yeah,
the
that's really
Truth
how
Movement.
Alex knows Charlie Sheen is. I think it has less to do with Hollywood, and Charlie Sheen and Alex Jones share this interest in finding about the truth about 9/11, and I think that's how they became.
Yeah, I watched all his points to the president. That YouTube video. Yeah, Jeff is back.
Well, I just wanted to say we're fixing to play a little bit of Alex. It's good because we're both real young and it's really nostalgic. The Real Spin.
And sit down.
All right, The Real Spin.
What year is this?
About 1996, something like that. About 15 years ago. Go on, Gary. Don't worry about it. This is just a.
You're just gonna get on camera one way or another.
Okay, so here, are we ready, Mike? The Real Spin. This old KJFK video, and we're talking, Gary, about the New World Order. Do you have a comment on the New World Order? What's it mean to you, if anything?
What does it mean? You know, I think it's kind of a general term, to tell you the truth.
I do too. Lorraine, what do you think?
I've been against the New World Order for a very, very long time. I think that's why I'm here.
Yeah, there you go. So we ready, Mike? One more
minute.
Stretch. All right.
Folks, if you'd like to call in real quick, we've 477-2288.
Did you want me to talk about my Mexico
Oh, yeah.
adventure?
Tell us about your Mexico. Lorraine went to Mexico. Tell us about that.
My brother got married in Mexico, and it was quite an experience. It was almost like a dream come true. I always wanted to be in a wedding like that.
Where exactly did you go?
I was in Mexico City.
You weren't worried about all the drug war, violence, and death and mayhem down there, or that?
I assumed I was flying over it. I assumed that it was near the border. So I did fly there. I flew out of Houston, and I had a very uncomfortable experience in Houston. I got to experience the TSA pat down firsthand.
Oh, yeah, tell us about that.
Oh,
you said you got assaulted. Sexually assaulted.
I would say more like she made me feel very uncomfortable. I mean, it is.
We'll start at the beginning. You're standing in line.
I was standing in line, and everybody was going through the scanners. They pretty much everybody was scanned. You had to be scanned or patted down.
What airline?
It was Aero Mexico.
Okay.
And I was just standing there, and I saw the machine, and I go, I don't want to get X-rayed, and I opted out.
Okay.
And then everybody there got kind of like antsy because like, oh no, we got an opt out, and they made a big deal about it. She made me go over and stand over there, but it was pretty invasive. I mean, they pressed up against my breast and like this. It's not like this, but they actually pressed everywhere, and they not only they went all the way up my thighs. I mean,
wow.
where like they say we should stop short of the thighs, but no, all the way up to the thighs where they end, and my buttocks were patted down as well. And then not only that, but they go inside your a waistline, and they feel inside your waistline and feel your underwear, and that is extremely uncomfortable.
Wow.
Male or female?
Oh, it was a female. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, she was professional about it, but it was very uncomfortable. I really did not enjoy having to go through that, and I was afraid to speak out because I've seen all the videos of all the people who speak up and protest.
Now's the time to speak up.
So yeah, now's the time to speak up, not then. I just wanted to get it over with. I needed to get on my plane, and I was afraid to speak out because I heard that there was some type of federal offense to speak out.
Okay, just a minute or so, Mike, because we're running out of time. I want to here we go, KJFK
Okay.
Radio, 1996, 97, something like that. Myself with Alex Jones. Here we go.
In my arms. Yeah, that's Alex Jones, baby. All right, we're talking about some serious issues today. We're talking about how they got us divided. It should not be front page news that Fuzzy Zeller said something racist, even though he's an old, fat racist. Who cares about an old, fat racist that says something about an awesome man, Asian, African American, who's worth probably $100 million? Who cares about words? We're Americans. We're all together in this boat. The man with the plan is here, Jeff Davis. What do you have to say?
It's like you said, Al. Like to keep the small fish in turmoil so the big fish can rob and rule over. So
That's it.
That's the game plan.
That's
my friend.
it. You're hitting the nail right on the head. And I've talked to you so many times. I've been on your television program. You've been on my television program. And I've seen some of the fantastic interviews you've done with people I've seen all over the news, whether it's, the head people for Republic of Texas or whoever. It's all these diverse groups, militia leaders, and people.
We interviewed John Trockman, the head of the militia of Montana, Jack McLam. The head of Operation Vampire Killer 2000, Police Against the New World Order. And by the way, that's what we're up against, is oligarchy, a financial elite.
You got it.
Okay, folks, we're back live here for the last 30 seconds. Gary Teague, final comments. You got 10 seconds.
Everyone keep watching the Jeff Davis Show.
Yeah. Lorraine did artist.
Oh yeah, we've had some fun times here, and I hope it keeps going.
Yeah, Gary Johnson.
You can go to fluoridefreeaustin.com, livefreeaustin.com, ruleoflawradio.com, and Mike Hansen Archives at youtube.com.
That's right. That's what you're seeing right there, Mike Hansen Archive. Bakehouse tonight, Mike? Neck congestion. So that's it, folks. We love you. See you back here next week.
Next
See ya.
Monday.
Yep, next Monday.